Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Evelyn, a member of Hong Kong Baptist University Gansu Sustainable Service Team. At first, I would like to thank HSLEIHE Hong Kong branch for organizing the Redesigning Student Learning Experience in Higher Education project, and also HKBU and CUHK for co-organizing this symposium. I'm glad to be the representative to share our project and funding with you here. And the topic of our project is promoting and developing habit of minds through voluntary service in Gansu. It is a part of our service learning project, Gansu Sustainable Service, which has been organized by HKBU students for more than 9 years. And it aims to achieve education for poverty alleviation by helping others to help themselves. In this service, our HKBU students serve as voluntary teacher to help Gansu primary students to develop self-directed learning. And based on this project, our HSLEIHE project aims to implement the concept of habit of mind and to develop habit of minds among HKBU students and students in Gansu. According to Costa and Kellick, habit of minds represent a set of behaviors or attitudes that a person would perform intelligently in solving new problems. We have selected 4 out of the 16 habits of minds. They are questioning and posing problems, applying past knowledge to new situations, gathering data through all senses, and creating, imagining, and innovating. In our project, there are 41 HKBU students serving as tutors, and 9 of them are project team members. We went to 4 primary schools in Gansu rural place, and 371 primary students received our service. There are 3 stages of the project. During the preparation period, our advisor conducted 2 training workshops to develop fundamental knowledge of teaching skills, lesson design, and strategies to develop the selected HOMs. And we also organized some preparation activities such as training camp, fundraising week, and weekly meetings to help our students develop habit of minds. Some students also revised their lesson plans draft based on the suggestion. During the service and evaluation period, we administer pre- and post-surveys to our tutors before and after the 16-day service in Gansu. And in the final stage, each tutor submitted a 1,000 individual reflection paper. And by comparing the quantitative and qualitative analysis, we try to explain students' development. Here are the questions in the service, and they're adapted from Costa and Kellick's inventories and checklists for rating habit of minds. And each question is just 1 HOM. And this is the guideline of students' reflection. Students are required to choose 1 HOM to reflect, and they were required to report 1 experience that could represent best their development of that habit of mind. We use pair t-test to analyze the survey's data, and from the result, we discovered that there are positive significant change in 8 HOMs out of the 16 HOMs, which suggested that our students generally believe that this project helped them develop their habit of mind. And among the 8 HOMs, there is very significant change in questioning and posing problems and responding with wonderment. To better understand students' development, we also needed to analyze the quantitative data. From students' reflection, we discovered that questioning or posing problems was a very common technique that tutors apply in various situations in the service, including classroom teaching, problem solving, and self-reflection. For example, some tutors use different types of questions when handling problems. They raise questions to analyze the causes of problems, to explore possible resources from outside world. And some were able to develop higher cognitive thinking skills. They use technical questions, such as what if I don't fix this problem at this moment, when to solve these problems, how to take care of others' emotions. And through these questions, they are able to consider the consequences, to prioritize the problems, or to construct a realistic work plan to solve the problem systematically. Some tutors also prepare various questions as instructions to help students learn the presented knowledge by reasoning. And they also encourage students to raise questions. Observable change in primary students' behavior are identified. A member mentioned that a shy and quiet student was able to raise many creative questions at the end of a science experiment report. All parties, including our HKBU participants and teachers and students in Gansu, benefited from this project. The student-centered approach we use helps students there form a good mentality of learning in classroom, including the willingness to cooperate and to communicate with classmates. Most tutors reported in their reflection that they observed a positive change of the students' learning attitude. Many students in Gansu used to be quiet and passive learners because their teacher required them to stay silent and listen carefully in class. Since the tutor had learned active learning strategies in Qingling workshops, they brought in student-centered teaching approach, which promotes student active participants in classroom. For the benefits to HKBU students, the project successfully promoted habit of mind, especially questioning and posing problems. Many students who plan to develop other HOMs tend to start with raising relevant questions. For example, in order to help a student develop imagination, a tutor enjoying lessons raised many questions as instruction to encourage students to associate some simple outlines with animals. On the other hand, the reflection on this experience also allows university students to see their learning from the perspective of their teachers. They started to consider teaching and learning as a holistic process rather than a one-way communication. This experience also helped us work with team members from different cultures and hence strengthen our team consciousness. The result of our project supported Boyd's and Ward's suggestion. They said, in the face of challenges, students employing habit of mind would behave more actively and inquisitively rather than in a passive and accepting manner. Therefore, we recommend teachers implementing student teaching elements in learning process. And we also encourage university teachers to implement the concept of habit of mind, especially questioning and posing problems, which might be crucial and a starting point to develop other good habits and to enhance student learning. Here are our references, and we are really grateful for the support from the Office of Student Affairs and the Center for the Holistic Teaching and Learning of Hong Kong Baptist University and the 4 Primary School of Gansu. Also thank our advisor, Dr. Lau, for his guidance and assistance. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.